What's up guys, it's the Devil's Talon here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at how you can improve your W King and endgame placement by analyzing one of OCE's top pros, and that is Power Looter. But before I get into this analysis guys, if you do enjoy my content or find what I'm telling you helpful, please drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on post notifications. But without further ado, let's just jump right in. Alright guys, as you can see on the screen we have Looter's POV. We are going to be analyzing his 3 best games from the Solo Cash Cup. This is going to be 2 first place performances and a second place, all of which had around 7 or plus kills. We're going to look at individual engagements and then watch his endgame. Let's just take a look at this early game fight. He sees a little house rat sitting up here in the house. Gets a nice wall here. You're going to see very good movement and very good peeks and just slowly playing his opponent. Good click speed, gets a little 20 crack, holds the wall. Attempts it again. It's kind of just pre-firing, catch him off guard. But once he takes this wall, the fight's over. A really good click speed. And then right hand peek all the way around. This guy is a little bit lost in the sauce. We got to remember this is OCE, doesn't have the best player base, but the top of the top is very good. Looter is definitely in consideration for that spot. Let's go into the next engagement. Just good angles right there, good movement, and then again saved all of his health shield as well. So didn't have to waste any of his utility. Finds a purple lever in Craggy. We're going to see him push this opponent here shortly. And let me just click on the engagement tab, skip through. I'll go back if I need to, which I don't need to in this particular engagement. He hears this guy breaking. He's kind of crouch walking silently. Cracks 78 piece control back wall, beautiful. Ends that fight extremely fast. The opponent somehow had minis or a big and hadn't decided to take him. A big mistake. Again, remember, not the best server in the world. Now let's just go back a tad bit on this particular individual. We have noticed him sitting in a bush. I like destroying the bush. It makes things a little less complicated. Very low ping it looks like. He's going to spray through here and cone slide, get a crack. And then montages that kid who's out there taking a fish with a cone over his head, completely lost. Good examples of piece control right there. Getting cone, then getting floor, and then getting cone slide after he sprays through. And we have a quick 3 kills early on. Most of this game is he's gonna get his kills at endgames, as you can see. But let's just again hop into the next particular engagement. We have noticed this opponent sitting in the house. Beautiful right hand peek. Notice constantly putting cones. He cones them off right here. Peanut butter. And then he just slowly moves to left. Cracks. Ends up fight. Here, we can get it a little bit back. Let's just take a look. Because it is very good. And then we'll watch it at half speed. Notice how he's at a right hand peek. Edits through with the blueprints. Cone slides. Crack. Hits the wall. Immediately places the cone. If the opponent continues to go forward, he tries to cone. Doesn't get the back wall in time, but does get chip damage. He then cones him off here. Gets front wall. Peanut butter peek. Now just makes it quick here. Edit. This guy is essentially trapped. And then he hits him for a minimal damage shot and ends the fight. Really good stuff thus far. Let's take a look now at these kind of mid to late game engagements. As you can see, he's going to pop off at the end. Oh, this fight is incredibly long and drawn out. So let's move all the way back here. This is probably the most drawn-out fight that Looter does have in this particular engagement. Notice safely King blocking his ways off. Low ping immediately gets the cone. 66 crack. Good cone attempt. Does get it. Opponent gets out. The opponent's going to do a nice crack. Now the opponent's going to do an incredible job of basically running away. This is good pressure from Looter, but I mean, there's only so much you could chase and chase and chase. The opponent does a good job of moving. He just Looter doesn't really ever get a chance to cut him off. The guy ends up getting chug splashes. He does get it there, but opponent makes a good play up and out. Gets a nice little 41 crack. Opponent continues to run. He was probably playing placement and having max mats. He's just using them. Good attempt at the cone right there. So these are the types of players that are annoying, that are just running away, building, wasting your match, wasting your time. And then he also has a ton of chug splashes. Fortunately, the Metro Classic down, the opponent doesn't block his back, and he ends up getting that finish pretty quickly. Let's go in the next engagement. It's going to be a good, much faster demonstration. He sees this opponent getting pressured from another opponent. He goes and immediately blocks himself off. Low ping confidence, shoots through, tongue slide, cracks, peanut butter twice, and the guy is dead in 2 shots with that purple lever. You're going to see preference for the lever. Now we're going to go into kind of endgame. Let's watch him just kind of frag out endgame, because that's where he actually gets most of his kills. We're in moving zone. He's getting up and ahead. It's not too bad. 16 people here. So he basically gets the 3 height with the opponents. Now you have a guy lost the storm. He looks back for eyes. This gets good recognition that height was his. Quick 2 kills. This is just me a good example of what height can really do for you in solos, if you're able to hold it. He's getting some very, very good frags. Getting ahead and then looking back. Just textbook end gameplay on, especially powerful on height for the Scar. Now he focuses second height, anyone that could challenge him. And then he recognizes where he's going to go, fries him off shield. But it goes back, so it's a really good zone. He can recycle some old builds. And you're going to hear him notice his opponent taking a mining, and the guy is taking shield in a box that isn't even owned by him. And now we're at a quick 10 kills. Looking back, notice how none of the players in OC are really playing ahead. Finally, someone got forward. But everyone's towards the back of the zone. And some good fries right there from that particular. And then Looter's going to build 1 ahead. Finish that. Opponent unfortunately gets fried here, but he has so many hills, he's not even worried about it. None of these guys have really been playing ahead. And a good job of Looter getting his heals off. So he's going to sit here and continue to just pressure second height. Notice this isn't trying to kill his opponent, just trying to burn out his mats. Get him away from his lair. And he just kind of gets back to old builds. He still has a ton, right? He still has 280 brick just from all of his refreshes. He decides to drop in loan for a better angle. Gets it. Doing a good job trying. Gets a 36 crack, makes an open edit, and that's when it can sometimes happen. But he uses his significant amounts to get back up immediately. And just gets all of his heals off. He's saving his splashes in case it does go to heal off, which you wouldn't expect. This is pretty surprisingly stacked for a first game. 30 crack right here. But notice how he pre-boxes. His opponent tries to fight him for it. Looter uses a smart bouncer play and cracks him. And that's a GG's. And now Looter's going to do a great job right here of getting ahead and just cutting this opponent off where he has literally nothing to do. Misses a shot, unfortunately. Could have maybe gone for a cone slide to keep him in the same lane. Crack. The opponent still has 100. And the opponent is going to shoot out the wall and pretty much die to storm even if. And that is a 13 kill win. Great stuff from Looter. Let's get into the next game. Alright guys, we're hopping into another match now. We're at towards the end of the Cash Cup with him being at 88 points. This is going to be a 7 kill second place, and the last game we're going to look at is an 8 kill first place. But again, as you can see, predominantly much better end games and much better players off spawn. We're going to take it this first initial fight here at Craggy. Opponent gets him boxed. Good recognition, good jump right here, 72 crack. Good movement. Really good angle right here. Gets the cone slide, but unfortunately chokes the edit through. Nice. The opponent does a good job. That nice drop down and then peanut butter peak edit. Pickaxe baiting, not double. I love this decision to back out here. You don't want to follow that opponent through all those builds. Go to a different layer. It is going to allow his opponent to get some minis off, though. Notice how cautious he is. He's playing against the charge, so he's going to have 64 crack. Wins that trade. He's just doing a good job of playing safe. Guy hits him for 52. Oh, opponent makes a good play. Gonna back out. And now he's gonna play a little bit more passive, but reads him right as his opponent switches to his pickaxe and then ends up finishing the fight. But good, long, drawn out fight. That's really what you don't really care off spawn if you know there's not a significant amount of people around you. He played that very slow, passive, good angles, ended up not taking a ton of damage other than that one crack. Let's just jump into this next engagement. Alright, next engagement, we're rolling up into Orchard. He starts shooting at a car and this opponent flies at him with a charge, hits him for 56. Looter tries to get a big off. Tries to go for a crack. Notice creating more space. Good little crack right there. Probably going to assuage the opponent from continuing to key. It's going to allow him to get his big off. Good job. Sometimes you got to play a little offense. Opponent's sitting. Pickaxe baits. Pickaxe baits again. Creates a right-hand peek. Not sure what ends up happening there due to replay lag. Good recognition. That's probably not the best. He immediately switches to hard from wood. Gets one mini off. Good layer change right here. Good recognition. Oh my goodness, absolutely worked. Let's just take a look at how smart that was with what he did essentially win. So he's going to drop down a layer. We're going to slow this down. Gets him right when his pickaxe is out. Cracks. And then immediately crouches in the cone to phase him to a different layer. He's then going to drop down and then place a stair because he knows the opponent's most likely going to follow. So he then edits him down this way because this opponent, I think Looter placed that well right there as well. And then he just absolutely dominated him, dances because that was such a good play on his part. Let's go take a look at the next engagement. We're going towards 5th. He's found an old refresh somewhere. Turn this all into metal, create a ton of space. Good recognition that the opponent's there. He just drops him down. And then that's a free kill. Look at this, 4 floppers, 4 chug splashes. This is definitely a game where you can really want to focus placement. He's not really on a power layer. Looter taking preference for the... You can see his preference, right? Blue char or purple charge right there. Not using it. Purple tack right there. Not using it. Just prefers the lever. He's using all of these mats. Let's go into these type of moving zones. Let's see if we can get into first moving zone. Yeah, let's do it. We can watch this throughout. That was very interesting. He tanked a lot of storm. Let's watch this from the very beginning. So he's using all of these refreshes. He gets a favorable zone. He does have a good side. He only has to really protect his right side. This rotation is very interesting. He's going to go around That's good. He's hugging this dead side. Look at this. Ah, that's what caused him to tank so much zone. He had an opponent right in front of him, so he tanks zone. Now he's on a super scuffed lair. He's going to make the decision to... He can only make this play because he has flappers. He gets up, bounces ahead on that dead side. And then now he continues to tarp. Look how many mats he's saving by just playing so tight on this dead side. It's a nice little 34 crack, bouncers ahead. Look at his mats. He's 4-3-2. Really healthy. Tries to go for a play. Notice the opponent's trying to take a big. Plays at distance. Doesn't commit to anything. Tries to create a little more space. Fortunately gets a max pull. He's going to try to layer switch. He does get that layer switch. Now he's on a much better uncongested layer. Same type of deal, right? You're seeing him take zone. A nice little crack. Doesn't go for anything particular. But because he's on this dead side, he only has to worry about blocking one side. He has 4 bouncers. I'm assuming we're going to see a bouncer play here pretty soon. Oh, it looks like he's actually going to... We don't know what happened. It looks like he got RPG down to low. But again, same deal. Not really having to use a ton of materials. Good fry. He's going to get some right here. Boxes up on the mats. He gets a nice little refresh. Doing a good job of just playing rotations, playing the low ground. Taking Storm again to get to a better lair. Look at that. Gets off of a scuffed low ground lair, and now he can play ahead. Fortunately, he's going to be in wood, so he's focused by RPG up top. Knows guy's going to probably Metro Classic in. Catches opponent shambles on low ground. Good aim. Kovaxes him. Nice, good crack. Ends up getting a little bit of materials. Decides not to commit to it. Makes a hype play. He tried so many times. And he just jumped right back down a little bit. Not the absolute best. There's 23 crack. The guy dies to fall damage? Interesting. He has no mats. Person also has flappers. Hits it for a little bit. This is kind of scuffed. Unfortunately, there isn't going to be much he can do. Opponent has mats on high ground. Looter does not. Nothing he can really do. The opponent has a better gun at range and ends up winning the fight. GG's. Played that really well. Just good lair changes, good tanking of Storm, allowing him to get some refreshes and maximize his placement. But let's get into this final victory out game that ends up clutching him the solo cash cup for this week. Alright guys, we are in Looter's last game, and he's at 113 points. Obviously a very good cash cup, but definitely needs to have a big last game here to really secure the first place. He's getting rushed by this particular opponent. It's a very strange fight this far. Good crack right there. Immediately pressure with the AR, goes for it. Tries to pre-box, does not get it. These angles are so good. Oh, just kind of a whiff, unfortunately. Could have probably ended that fight there. Good recognition where that opponent's going to go. Good reload management, right? Sits up weights. Is the opponent healing? Gets a nice little 44 crack. He's keeping a good job of doing pressure. Opponent's only got one mini, and then he zero pings the wall, takes it. GG's. Good early mid-game pickup. Good mid-game pickup. Kind of give him some confidence and a fresh point on this backside of zone. Let's get in the next engagement. I believe will be probably close to half and half. It is. Let's just kind of watch this end game out, because again, this is going to be stacked, more stacked portion of the cash cup, even though there's about 24-ish and 5. It's not super stacked, but sees an opponent, fries. He catches him with a cone, floor, and then gets the spray through to end that fight. Good recognition, good following. He didn't even have to. Basically, the guy was just, after getting fried in shambles, now he gets a nice little refresh. He's at 130 total builds. He's got a good zone going into this first moving. He's using all of this extra metal right here to kind of create that for him. So what refreshes could definitely do for you. You can use the extra mats. Gets him off a congested layer. He now has a good layer to maneuver through. Hits that guy to 30 white, but because it's moving zone, he doesn't even worry about it. You know, see, do what he's been doing all day, hugging the storm. Look at his rotations. His rotations and solos are so good. Allows him to save so many mats. Good lair. He gets up nice ahead. Notice he's using wood. He's using wood early during his rotation. He wants to save for his hard mats for when he gets boxed in. And now he's kind of conserved tarping. He drops down to ultimate. It's kind of refreshing the middle, right? Just focusing on mat conservation. Nice, good recognition. Catches the opponent outright. Go back into storm and grab all the extra loot. And now he's almost max materials. And then bounces ahead. Beautiful. Notice now staying ahead, like he had what you saw in the first game, what his opponents were doing, he's doing. This guy's bouncing. Do the exact same thing. Notice always hugging that storm on either side. Cracks this opponent. Gonna go for a big. Not gonna overextend. Gonna go for the big instead. He's probably gonna bounce her again. That's exactly what he does. Notice how he's always usually first or second ahead in these moving zones. Create a lot of space, and now this is free elimination time, right? I believe he ends up getting 2 picks just by playing ahead, and 2 shambles players. He's very healthy on mats, 100 bills. Looks like he gets a storm elimination as well. Exactly, using that, and this is where he has now pretty much won the game. The guy uses his bouncers to get high ground in a mountain zone where everyone has to come up. He could just spray. Opponent actually unfortunately challenges him. He cracks him, and the opponent should probably stop. But because of his mat saving earlier, he's able to hold this very easily. He's getting ahead. He doesn't have to use too many mats. He's getting placement points. Opponent uses a bouncer. I'm not sure. Just pressuring second height, just solo tarping. Notice how he goes one over to make sure that he falls on top of old builds. Now he's getting ahead to create a backwards angle. Gets a fry on that opponent. And then I don't believe he got credit for that last kill. And now it is a 1v1. Tries to attempt to get piece control. He does have 400 materials, so he can play ahead. Nice, beautiful cone slide. He ends up falling. Taking a little bit of storm. Ooh, gets cracked. Has a little bit of mats. Opponent psychos in. He's now going to get his minis off. And the opponent can't do anything right. He's either going to die to storm or has to break out. Probably could have broken out to the side. I don't know if how many mats he had, but Looter clutches up. Kind of a little bit of a scuffed endgame, but overall, excellent tournament. 139 points and first place in the OCE Solo Cash Cup. The biggest takeaway from this particular VOD review isn't the W King skills of Looter. It is mainly the rotational knowledge which allows him to dominate and get a ton of eliminations in endgame. He constantly hugs the storm. He constantly plays ahead. He looks for power positions at certain times. He has good win condition knowledge, when to go for height, when to use his bouncers to maximize height. Height can do multiple things for you in solos. It can maximize your placement, allows you to get easy eliminations like you saw in that first game. He was sitting on height, beaming everyone with the scar. In that last game, you kind of saw it. There wasn't a good amount of frag opportunities with everyone rotating up to the mountain, but it allowed him to maximize his placement. After he had one person challenge him, it eventually turned into a 1v1. He ended up clutching up with good bouncer play and good shotgun aim in that particular engagement. But his rotational knowledge is really what carried him through. You always saw him hugging one side of zone, allowing him to conserve his mats. You saw him bouncing ahead. Him playing ahead is what allowed him to have such easy high ground. And even when he was on scuff layers on low, like he was in the second game, he was still picking up those frags. He was tanking zone, using his floppers and his chug splashes to tank zone, get on good size where he's going to conserve his mats. The only reason why he lost that second game is the opponent made a good play for height, and unfortunately Looter at that time had no mats. But the biggest takeaway, like I said, is his rotational knowledge. And if you are struggling in endgame, this is a textbook VOD review example of what you need to do to succeed in endgame and all sorts of lobbies, in lower tier first game lobbies of Solo Cash Cup and higher tier endgame lobbies with the best players in their particular server all together, clustered together. That is going to do it for today's VOD review, guys. I hope that you did enjoy. If you did, please drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on post notifications. And I hope I'll be seeing you in the next one. Peace.